ult. Should be able to find the Rubik, because Insania gets one more Starstorm, but it's going to cost him his life, so it's a 1-for-1, and Amnesia,
he's alone.
that is a nullifier applied to him. He is dead. Saberlight with a really early nullifier.
He even stopped moving. I'm glad you picked up on a nullifier that I called out like 5 minutes ago.
Wow, I can't believe he has a nullifier.
He just picked it up. Whoa, he nearly has an AC,
It just delivered it to him.
Look, he nearly has AC. This guy is farming real fast.
Saberlight is destroying as well.
So about the Mage Slayer, I think Mickey needs a lot of items. I mean, I think the...
Well, what did they nerf in the last patch? Was it 5% magic resist and what
It's
else?
lower magic resist when you apply it. It lasts longer.
Hold. Lasso, Arteezy swap immediately. Still has the Aegis, of course.
Oh,
big vacuum wall onto 3. But here comes the Eclipse from Artur. Saberlight is dead, though. Remember, he has that nullifier. Kazu. Yopaj coming in from the sideline. Gets the coil off to try to buy some time for the rest of his team to get away. Doing a lot of damage in the meantime. Very low on mana, though. As he loses your orb in just a moment, along with the blink, so... Oh, he's getting silenced. Oh, and he might pay the ultimate price now. Perfect timing with the phase shift.
He's dead.
Yeah, he has nothing else to offer, so he will get dropped, and that is a 10x kill streak ended.
That could be the comeback kill that they're looking for. Nisha now has Blink as well. I do like the way that they set up the fight this time around. Like, Boxley going in, it's not to like, it's kind of to start the fight, but not really drag in the Luna. Now with the response that Venge has to swap, they walk in and that gives 3-3 this great vacuum wall. It's literally the 3 best targets he could get. That's a lot for Mickey, who was definitely struggling.
The AC is going to be dead for a bit. So it will just be the nullifier on him.
Which he, once again, just picked up.
Yeah, that's how fast he's farming, man. Can't keep up.
This guy's really good. Is that Divine Rapier now? Careful, everyone.
Don't tell JT.
Okay.
A little too soon for that one.
Mickey is getting closer to an Aghanims, which of course will help him like flip-flop in and out a little bit more, which is of course good. You want to play prolonged fights against Luna and Lycan.
Anyway, back to the Mage Slayer.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like one of the big reasons it was good on starting is the magic resist. It's not something you typically, but obviously going to get a BKB at some point. But yeah, look at the enemy team. Like, the things that are killing him, Puck and Luna are mostly magic damage at this point of the game.
I would say that he's dying to a lot of hybrid damage. There's a lot of physical that is maybe not as easy to spot, because literally everyone's attack is like plus 50 more than it should be, with Luna Aura and like Venge Aura, Vlads as well.
That's true.
And it's kind of awkward to build Mage Slayer and Diffusal. That's only good if you are like setting the tempo, which they have not been. They've been on the receiving end for a while. We might see the Conda.
Now, do you? Yeah, of course. We always see the Conda on.
Sorry to nearly interrupt your thought there. Please continue.
If this, we're going to see a scan come out. I was going to see how well does the Shopify lineup scale. Like, is there a time limit? Because typically when you have like a push line, we're like, oh, we got to end at a certain point. But I feel like they scale really well.
I would say they do scale very well, and I would say there's less. I don't think it exists as much as it did back in the day, where like, oh, one lineup outscales the other. I think a lot of lineups are just about when you're strong, like you push the advantage, because Shopify is more about having a lead and keeping it. But if they go to even, it's not like they'll insta lose the game. Like Luna scales very well now. Puck is a monster in the late game. So they're fine.
Yeah, especially with this build that people have been going with.
Yeah.
The eventual Mjolnir, the eventual Parasma.
Of course.
And then the Aghanim Scepter.
I mean, Puck just has like a very sick, like 6, 7, 8 slot, because all the items he builds, they all turn into more. He has a great Aghanims. Doesn't have to play with boots later either, so yeah, Mr. Yopaj will be very well equipped for a longer game.
And for Liquid, what do they need to do to get back in this game? 11K is getting to the point where this is quite severe. They're definitely at a disadvantage, and I mean, as Darkseer players always say, the longer you turn the enemy strength against them with the
You scale with the enemies.
If you get the good wall.
One of the few heroes. Liquid scaling is very good. It will boil down more to how they really team fight. They need to allow 3-3 to take a less rushed fight, because he needs to be patient. It's all gonna be about this vacuum wall. Like Nisha needs to make some space, as does Boxy. Mickey like jumps in and jumps out, but it will all boil down to how 3-3 gets to use his spells.
Shopify take the tier 2 top. And they should be able to get another Tormentor and another Steal.
You just nearly killed me in real life, Shannon.
Saberlight with the shard now. Okay, we get that little extra wolf.
Extra wolfy. It's
Nice.
not. It's basically okay. What's better, the wolf or Roshan's banner?
The wolf, because it never ends.
And it gives you gold.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the wolf is better.
Yeah, of course the wolf is better.
Okay, someone mentioned this. You can use it as a ward. So second Roshan drops an observer ward. Like, listen to that.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyway,
Very
so
good. Hey, they're already out of shards. Would you look at that?
yeah, they've been on the money. Of course, they took Liquid's Tormy twice and their own. Liquid are looking to hold this ward. If I'm not mistaken, they picked up a gem earlier. Or they wanted to. Yes, they do have one on Mr. Insania. Because yeah, when you play this mid-game against these Lycan Wolves, it is obnoxious. Like Lycan TA, it screams for a gem at minute 25. So I'm happy to see it.
And we got the Roshoff. 33.
He has to be careful about baiting. If someone gets swapped in, they are insta-dead. We have a different bait going on, but they should know.
They spot out another illusion, thinking it might be real.
Arteezy's trying
to
real
bait
hard.
it out, but the smoke is going to basically ensure that they know. The arrow does hit Arteezy!
They know it's real.
Oh boy, but the swap is available. Are they going to use it in time? He pops the BKB instead. Has the Eclipse as well. Finally uses it. There's the wall. Lots of stun, but Yopaj pops his BKB as the Eclipse is ripping through them. The Darkseer already died. Buys back into the game instantly as Mickey. Okay, they're on the cliff. This is a really awkward fight. Nullifier applied to Mickey. He gets killed off. Enough right-click damage. And now the rest of Liquid trying to run away. Nisha stuck in place. Gets the swash off, but dies mid-animation. And Shopify destroying yet another fight. They don't lose a single member. And Liquid lose 4 with the buyback coming through on the Darkseer. And now Roche will go the way of Shopify.
I mean, Kitra against the Olikor, I feel like they're destroying Liquid in these fights. They're really patient. They just save with a force. They don't rush the swap or anything. They play a very slow fight. He stole wall as well on Rubik. They're playing really well. Yeah, they picked up the important thing, which is the banner.
Where will they put that banner? Very important.
I mean, they couldn't quite get the follow-up.
Wait, it doesn't buff your wolf though, does it?
I don't know. Well, I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure it's just link things.
That would be nice. Very specific change needed.
I'm gonna do some reading here. Lane creeps. Lane creep.
It is a lane creep though. It's join the club.
It's a summon in the lane.
It's a summon that is part of the melee creep.
I will pay attention whenever he will place the banner.
Yeah, tell me where they put it.
They have not yet. Remember to look at the relocate on the map, then you'll see where the banner will be.
Okay, everybody pay attention. Otherwise you'll miss it.
Yep.
I'm sure everybody's forgotten already. Lasso initiation, Boxy. Find Kitrak, who's been a thorn in their side. Yopaj with an instant coil, though. Nullifier now applied to Boxy. No. He's dead just like that.
Holy damage.
And look at the burst damage onto 33. That's a dieback, essentially, for him. Mickey completely surrounded. Tries for the TP play. Will be successful, but basically the rest of his team is dead. Nisha, the only other one to join the party. And now Shopify on the doorsteps of Liquid's base. Roshan's banner still there. Who gives a shit, to be perfectly honest.
Buyback.
The Conda destroying Nisha. Swashbuckle from Theolikor of all
Another
heroes.
Arrow.
And we'll steal Arrow now. And these buildings will absolutely melt.
Banner on top.
On top?
On top lane.
In the base?
Top lane. Did you see it? Dude, you are colorblind. There's like a green relook. There it is, baby.
Wow! Unbelievable placement of the Roshan's banner. They get the mid lane. And now bottom is in their sights, but without 33, I just don't think they can fight. They might just have to give up 2 sets here. But they might not be able to do that because Yopaj is just killing them in their base. Nisha's dead. 33's courier died as well. Very important to talk about. And the Eclipse not doing a whole lot, but it matters not for Shopify. They get 2 lanes of racks, and I think they can just throne this if they want.
Yeah, they have
as
Luna.
Liquid, their group stage woes continue. As they go to 2-7, this will be Shopify at 7-2. Who would have thought? As Mickey going in for one last dance here, but Yopaj and company literally ignoring him. But back wall onto 3, trying to finish this game.
Good
RTG pops
shard.
to BKB, now focusing on some heroes. Creeps is there. Remember that banner was placed top, so those creeps will be slightly stronger, which is very important to mention as the Ancient is exposed and the GGs come out. And game number 1 to Shopify.
I was afraid for Liquid in this game, just looking at the draft, but I feel like their early game was pretty good until like, what, minute 7, 8, 9, and then they just kept giving up their entire lead with more just deaths, where Shopify started to identify, okay, let's play through our bro Yopaj, who he had a banger of a game. I feel like Yopaj and the 2 supports, some shining stars. I personally have not seen too many. Oh man, Boxer looks despair. But,
Yeah,
that is
Liquid,
life.
they're not doing great.
Liquid are not doing it.
I don't know the math, so I don't want to say anything that definitive, but I don't know if it's even possible for them to make it to the next stage.
That's why we have Brian.
Yeah, maybe Brian will do our technical analyst, as we like to call it. But 2 and 7, that is gonna, like, you have to rely on other people to lose.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel
I know
like
that one group is like closer with the standing, so maybe they're in that one.
It might technically be possible to be an uphill battle for sure, as Shopify take this game number 1, and let's see what the panel have to say about it.
Well, I first want to say that technically it is possible for Team Liquid that now have 7 losses to maybe still get 7 and 7, and then they have to hope that other people lose hard in order to get a tie somewhere, but it's starting to get a pretty, well, unlikely story at this rate. They'll also, of course, have to start winning, which is coming pretty hard with Shopify being on fire as they are. I'm here with Jenkins and Effie in this game. I felt like the 3 cores of, all 3 cores actually, Effie, on the side of Shopify just had a fantastic performance.
For sure, they definitely delivered the way that you would want them to. I mean, the Lycan pick in the first place put Liquid in a very difficult position where they had to deal with it while also thinking about a way to deal with Puck that basically they didn't really have a solid disable for it. So you have Yopaj just styling on this Puck the entire game. You have Saberlight who's hit his timings, and then you have this Luna who, even though got off to a rocky start on lane, managed to come back very quickly and then just outfarm everybody else. And when you have the combination of these three heroes grouping up, it was very hard for Liquid to take a fight in spite of the start that Matt Ryder gave his team.
Yeah, that was a nice Lycan pick. Like, you know that the last pick coming out has to be something that answers the Puck. It's the mid lane, so there are a lot of Puck answers on the mid lane, but then you pick a Lycan, which there's also not an answer for, and it's like, okay, do both now. There's very few heroes in Dota, if any, that do both. Like Kunkka, I guess, because Kunkka beat that, which is why they banned it. Kunkka beats the Puck in lane, and maybe you can get an Orchid or something like that, but yeah, that was good. And then Saberlight, like, this is just one of his best heroes, the Lycan. Like, he was the original summons guy when he came back on, when he came onto the scene. So it's nice for him that this is a patch where Helmdom 2 is very powerful, and we're probably going to see a lot of the summons heroes start getting picked.
And we really saw Shopify's draft come together so nicely in terms of just grouping up with those auras and those items, right? You have the Luna aura and the Vengeful Spirit aura. You have the Vlads coming out of the Vengeful Spirit. Eventually, even Rubik got a Greaves. And about the time that Shopify was ready to group up and fight, Liquid had to fight them, and they couldn't take advantage of that Darkseer mid-game timing, because guess what? The wall gets offset by the Lycan Howl. There isn't that much damage coming out. And we saw that in the big team fight that happened initially in that Radiant jungle after that skirmish in the mid lane where they took the fight, but they just couldn't do enough damage. And after that, it was an uphill battle for Liquid. But again, I want to highlight how well Yopaj played. He was styling on that Puck. I mean, he was doing some shenanigans in that mid lane where people were teasing him and he was invisible and he gets a double kill, and yeah, hats off. Kudos, very cool.
Yeah, there's a few times that I was like, he's dead. No, he's
No,
owning.
he's not.
He's dead. He's owning. Like, he was playing at 10% HP for the first 10 minutes of the game, it felt like, and that's often when you get a huge advantage, and he ended up being top net worth, not from farming, but from kills. Also, the more that I see Luna, the more I'm convinced by it. It seems like a very strong carry hero right now, with a lot of the other carry items being nerfed. Mage Slayer, for example, got nerfed. Disperser got nerfed. Luna was not a huge Disperser enjoyer. It's like okay on her, but it's not like Slark, who really enjoys the item.
It's also a
Honda
lot of
is good
issues.
Yeah.
Still.
You can't go high ground, which is where a lot of carry is very hard, and especially if you have Avenge backing you up, you can actually
Yeah,
siege.
the Venge helps for sure to like kite out and let Luna get like multiple Conda Lucent beams off in the
Yep.
fight, because you want to take long fights with this hero. And of course with the Shard, that helps her do that as well, the damage reduction.
Yeah.
Very solid hero.
And also, Arteezy's Luna was very heavily enabled in that draft. And we saw that Boxing's Bat Raider was able to run him down a few times with the cool combo of the Surge plus the Ion Shell. But at some point, you know, Arteezy just hits the triangle, and then you see this Luna farming the triangle. Once he gets there, instantly, you see a 3-man smoke coming out of the 2 supports on Shopify and Puck, and they're just hunting. They take the fight to the bot lane, away from the Luna, they draw away the attention, and the timings are just hit. It felt like a very clinical performance from Shopify.
It did. It also, I feel like somehow Shopify's draft and gameplay highlighted the issues that Team Liquid had on their side, and then at the end, it's only 33 that potentially has a chance of making his team get a comeback with a good back wall. And it just, I don't know, it felt like it was a little lackluster on the Team Liquid side, Jenkins. Was that just because of the draft, or what's going on?
Maybe a bit because of the draft. I mean, when you're playing into a Puck who gets like a triple kill this early in his top net worth, because the difference, like if you're top net worth on a Puck because you're farming creeps, it's not the same XP that you're getting from killing heroes. Like, this is a very difficult Puck to deal with already in a game where the draft, and I guess this goes back to what you're saying, where they had to answer both the Puck and the Lycan in one pick, and they couldn't. They picked the Pango, which answers the Lycan. So it's a Puck with a triple kill early on, top net worth, in a game where the Puck is unanswered. It's like, okay, you're going to get the Slark Orchid, but it's after the Diffusal. It comes out at a point where Puck is going to have, like, Sandra Kaya if they're owning, or Yule Scepter, and the Orchid is not enough for the Puck at that timing.
Yeah, and we keep coming back to Puck versus Pango, and I believe we're gonna do that even more with Brian.
Thank you, Shiva, for this game's Acer Predator head-to-head. Shocker, I am going with Nisha versus Yopaj in the mid lane, specifically highlighting the hero damage dished out by both these guys. As you can see, Yopaj, those early kills really snowballed into much higher impact in these team fights, more than doubling up Nisha here in the hero damage stats, as well as taking the victory. So I have a really cool clip from these two where it's a little bit of a mind game situation. So this is at 12 minutes. Top rune, Nisha is currently Moonlight Shadowed. If you look in the bottom right, we do see a sentry for the side of Shopify, and we're on Yopaj's perspective right now. So he is going to see Nisha, he's gonna grab the rune, and then Nisha's gonna barely walk out of sentry range, so he loses vision. So now we're gonna go back to Nisha's perspective, and he's sitting at 200 HP. He's then gonna get both of his nukes off, and Yopaj is gonna drop to 200 HP with an Invis rune. So what's going to happen here is you're going to see that Yopaj barely lives, and it looks like, from Liquid's perspective, that Yopaj is going to run away now. And we're even going to see Boxy looking to chase him and find him, hunt him down, right? And so Nisha, if we go back to his perspective, again, is like, oh, he's here somewhere, we're going to find him. He's looking aggressively as well. Lo and behold, oh, there he is, Yopaj with less than 200 HP, committing, getting the solo kill back on Nisha when Nisha was one of the most high-level players in the game at that moment. And I just really like these type of clips because very rarely do you get to see the back and forth mental game of two players where like, oh, I got you, no, he got me, oh, he got me. And then right there, Yopaj, like, that was one of the moments in the green room where Jenkins said, what is he doing? He's crazy. This man's unhinged. But those are the type of plays that win you games.
I sometimes get asked, like, oh, what's your favorite hero? And then I always specify to play or to watch. And to watch, it is almost always, I say Puck. Because if a player like Yopaj plays Puck, it has such a high skill ceiling. You can really do so much with it and living on the edge because you have so many survivability. So that is, it's really cool to see. I do wonder, though, I mean, can I just say, is that just...
Вообще не прокачан.
Yeah,
Я
a little
всю
bit.
игру пытаюсь прокачать.
Honestly, I feel like with these mid players, there's the number one role where you can tell if they're just feeling themselves in like a given match, a given tournament. And we haven't seen the most consistent performance from Yopaj throughout the qualifiers that Shopify was playing, but this is my first chance to see him this event personally, and he looked super comfortable. Something's vibing on the side of Shopify because I would often say that players in this situation, that speaks a lot about like the team dynamic, the confidence that each individual has, like the comfort they have, just kind of getting to be themselves. That looks like a player who's just embracing the vibes, you know?
Yeah, it was a fantastic look for Yopaj. We're going to see if he can look as good in game number 2, or potentially Team Liquid will bring it back to after a break.
В принципе, можно выходить, я не знаю, что я не выхожу. Идти next. Мне только нужно было 10 минут выжить. Туда не сейчас без конца. Я уже не сейвово играю, там меня не могут убить. Ну, ноухит будет совсем сложно, я не знаю, ноухит это прям супер сложно, наверное. Вообще без дэмэджа. А сколько минут надо выжить? Ай. О! Dun. Ну, кстати, под конец я уже сильный стал, более-менее. Просну зачистить нереально. Я никак добить не могу, когда мне один удар остается. О, все. Ну я как бы не сейвово играл. Я мог очевидно намного дольше прожить. Куда чип ударим? Сейчас посмотрим, что дает. Так, смотри, какую дали только что. Unlocks one hit mode. И шо? Насколько сложно one hit mode пройти? Сколько осталось? 9000 убить зомбиков. Level 3 прокачать. One hit mode. Где это? 5 минут? 5 минут уже? Ну хуй знает. Ну-ка попробуем разок, но не знаю, пойдет, это сложновато. Год что прокачаю. Губаны прокачаю еще или что? Или банов вроде хватает. Хотя нет, банов никогда много не бывает. Баны докачаю и... Один удачи. Похуй. Это чё? Хуйня. Так, спид. Так, ладно, ничего не буду прокачивать. Больше денег. Хотя это можно больше денег. Быстрее прокачка будет. Так, ну за этого же чела без дэмэджа 5 минут выжить. Не знаю. Сомнительно. Хотя если это дефолтный раныч, 5 минут выжить, то maybe реально. Алло, сразу эти стреляющие появляются. А так нечестно. Ой, бля, сейчас умру уже, кстати, я так начал. Maybe гранаты качать как раз, если надо без дэмэджа. Не, не буду. Меня сейчас поджимают уже. Бля, стреляющие сразу появляются, так нечестно. Понятно, тут без дэмэджа не так просто будет. Со старта уже каких-то миллион врагов. Я еще обилки подобрать не могу. Вот эту штуку хочу подобрать, пиздец, не могу. А, все, я умер. Вау, нереально. Окей, это супер сложно, оказывается. Стоп. Попробую заучить.
You know that a lot of problems need to be solved for Team Liquid here in this series to have even potentially a chance here to Dream League, but
Тут даже можно обилки качать, на самом деле, если 5 минут.
where Shopify is going to take this one, because I think for the way
Наверное,
this is
прокачают
going,
тему,
we're going
потому
to
что
see a lot
Arrow
more
Rain
Shopify
первые 5 минут реально полезно.
versus Team Liquid in this
Ее можно
Dream
даже
League
сразу, maybe,
2022.
прокачать.
It's just the way it is at the moment. We'll see, obviously, if Team Liquid can prove me wrong. But for now, focusing our attention on game number 2.
О, оно реально полезное на первые 5 минут.
Game to this series. And Brian, I was curious to hear from you where you want them to take this, because oftentimes it's like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of style.
Ой, free expa.
But I also know
Ой,
that
я умер,
Shopify
походу.
does like
Сука.
to, you know,
They like to break things that are for sure. No, it's
Воу.
not. They're going to save that for the playoffs, I think.
Не, это реально
Okay,
пройти.
so-
Это реально. Как раз заучился.
I didn't mean break things. I mean, they normally do try to diversify their drafts.
No, their drafts have
No,
actually
but-
been pretty, like, I'd say in the past they didn't.
Yeah,
Like the
okay.
classic Abed Storm every single game. But
А как можно быстрее
this
получить
tournament,
дождь
that's
стрел
been
и
the
стать
case.
в угол?
Like last series, their best of 2 against 1 win. They won their first game, and the second game had 5 different heroes in it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case again here.
And they open once again, but the Rubik worked out
Well,
great
damn
previous
it.
time.
My analysis.
No, I'm
а
Look at the
mostly.
screen when you say things.
Yeah.
По очереди.
No, I'm also very curious. I'm curious how Team Liquid's going to react to the result of previous game. Maybe they see different answers than what Shopify is expecting them to.
Бля, как собрать лут?
Yeah, well,
Понятно.
we'll have to see. I mean, it feels like Liquid has been struggling with their draft the last few days, but you know, the first thing that comes to mind for me is, first of all, you have to think about this Shopify Luna that they keep running, especially this
Чекал,
Luna
чекал,
Series.
чекал. Не
Are you
понравилось.
going to let it do? Are you going to just try to have a good carry-to-carry matchup? Maybe you could even pick a
Десмос, да,
Terra
чекал,
and
не
play on
понравилось
the
вообще.
reflection.
А
I mean,
графика для меня
that'll
очень
give you
важна
a good
в
means
подобных
to play
играх, потому что как бы
against
жанр
Luna.
пиздец ограниченный, и
Or you
играть в
could
игры
just
без
feel the
графики
ventral
в
spirit,
таком
thereby
жанре,
gimping
ну это
the
вообще
Luna,
бред.
right?
Это же
Another
так
thing to
супер
think about
ограниченный
for
жанр,
Liquid
который
is
быстро надоедает,
the
какой
mid
смысл
matchup
играть,
for
когда
Nisha.
вообще нет графики.
I really do
Это
believe
сразу
that
скип.
if you let Yopaj style on a hero that goes on
Как бы и так игра не может тебе много предложить, правильно? А еще и без графики. Бля, вроде вот Arrow Rain заебись, но я не могу собрать то, что я потом выбил.
Is a favorable matchup. I think that's what Liquid needs to look at for now.
It's very zen.
Блядь, я вообще ничего не могу подобрать, по сути, на ванхите.
Well, Nisha is also.
Потому что когда я, ну, играю дефолтно, то
I feel like
я
it's
могу
still
пожертвовать
weird to see
хитпоинтами ради того, чтобы подобрать что-то.
They literally have Team Liquid
This
here.
just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this is really confusing to
We
the
just
viewers
give
at
Liquid
home.
the win because they're in the Liquid facility.
I mean, they're literally winning from the Liquid facility, so geographically they are winning.
Только минуту выжил, мало.
You add insult to injury.
Бля, ну он еще приколы
Yeah, but
классные,
maybe
он
they
могу
found
еще взять
Split's
вообще.
notebook, you know?
Sometimes there's notes up on the wall too, so
That's true.
maybe they're spying on
But
the
if that would be the case, then that would explain Shopify winning, but it doesn't explain Liquid losing as much as they are.
True.
But they've been playing great. What do you think? Keep the momentum.
They
going.
banned the Luna themselves
They did.
outside of Shopify, so they think Luna Venge particularly is the ticket.
I mean, you don't want to give it away, right? Because you're not going to drop the Luna for yourself if you can't innovate with the Vengeful Spirit, and you don't necessarily want to play against it either.
Yeah, I wouldn't be super happy picking Luna into Venge, so... Yeah, that's how I feel.
О, приколы.
Do you guys think
Не, Ару Рейд докачаю.
that it's possible
Теперь
that
можно будет.
Liquid has finally
Экспо вообще не смысл брать на 5
getting
минут.
second place every single time? That it's like finally actually getting to them.
Or someone's. I don't think that. I think maybe, if anything, they've gotten superstitious. They're like, well, if we can't get first while putting in the effort the way that they are doing right now, maybe we need to have a tournament where we're more relaxed, so that the next one they come in well rested, better
Do
rested
you
than what
think
they
it's
normally do.
intentional, but based on superstition?
I don't think it's intentional in terms of, hey guys, we're just gonna sandbag this tournament.
Да
and do
забери
better the
желтую
next. I
штуку.
think if anything,
Нет,
they'll
блядь,
just
сука, не могу ее
lower
забрать.
the time investment that they do before an event. I mean, they're not boot camping, for example, which is already a show of that regard.
Вообще прокачки
What
нет,
if
из-за того, что
What
я не
if?
понимаю.
that their discussion going into this
Ой-ой-ой, очень
being
плохо,
project
все очень
said
плохо, я не
we're
знаю,
not
что.
gonna get second in this tournament.
We're gonna get last.
We're
Блядь,
just not gonna get second.
серьезно,
What if
два
they get
босса этих
second to
появилось?
last?
Oh god.
Oh no.
Так, ну я на
If they tie
2.30.
for last,
Вполне
it's
реально
gonna come down to
пройти.
where they get listed on Wikipedia.
That's true.
Because you tie for last.
But they own
Yeah.
Wikipedia, so they can change
They
who's
can
last.
make sure
Yeah.
that they're
Это
second
очень
to last
аккуратно.
if they
Really
want
good
or
analysis.
not.
Будет обидно умереть на какой-то
Yeah,
4-й минуте.
No further comments?
Oh, Shadow Demon.
I think the Balatro was pretty good for Liquid. I mean, all things considered, with how bad
Значит,
last
убьют.
game looked at some point, it was
О,
Boxy
броня,
that
ладно.
even put them in a position where they looked competitive. Because if it weren't for Boxy being like 7-3, pressuring that top lane, going bottom, and getting that early blink dagger, they would have looked like they were in a much worse position.
Nikolai
But
with the
Shopify counters that with the Shadow Demon, which I think is really annoying hero to play against if you're bad. If you get purged, you can't move around in team fights, and that's where all of your power comes from.
I also like it against the Venge, purging the shield from the swap. You can continue to chase down the guy that got swapped and kill him, even though there's some distance. It takes the shield off, and then they're slowed for like 6 seconds. So, not good counter to both of these heroes.
Yeah.
Да, отъебитесь.
You also just have a disruption.
О, нет,
save,
сейчас
right,
убьют, я не
versus
вижу, я не
Balatro
вижу, я не
and
вижу
versus
ничего.
Zeus weapon. You have a means to save your team and set up for a counter play.
Set up for Torrent as well.
3:15.
So with the pick
Меньше 2 минут осталось.
coming out, Dusty was
Ну,
very-
бля, меня поджимают
Would you
там
want
сбоку,
Yopa
я
as
не
Kunkka?
знаю.
Or is this Kunkka picked also?
О, нет, о, как мне только что повезло.